Yo, 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 everybody. What is up? What is up? Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm not late. I don't know what you're talking about. How's it going, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome to the Scream stream. It's been a little while since we were able to do all this fun stuff, and I'm glad we can do it today. Apologies for being late. Late, not lake. I am not a lake, in fact. I am a human being. But very fun fact, I just put out a very fun Predator Badlands video, and that's why I'm late. I was still uploading that bad boy. Thought I could beat the clock on that one, but here we are. Give it a watch. It's a fun video. Talked about some theories I have about the new movie, as well as how I think they're doing a total Aliens reference in the Predator films. How about them apples? Gonna be fun. But today we're talking a little bit about Scream. All kinds of rumors and crazy things come out every single day, it seems, about the Scream franchise, so I'm curious what your guys' thoughts, concerns, feelings, all those fun things are for this upcoming horror sequel. Let us know down in the comments, and we will surely get to them today. It'll be a lot of fun. But also, as always, very fun thing. Love seeing so many great folks out in the chat today, by the way. Sorry I'm getting so close to the mic right now. How we doing out there? As always, if we get ourselves 10 nasty little super chats in the first hour here, we will go for another hour and talk Scream pretty much all evening long. How about them apples? Wouldn't that be crazy? For another hour. I gotta type. I can't type and talk at the same time. I'm horrible at multitasking. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're back on track though. All right, let's make this happen. How we doing here? King Matthew III is saying, "What is up, Jake? How are you doing today?" I'm phenomenal. How are you? I just got finished rewatching Scream 2, one of the best Scream sequels in my opinion, and my theory for Scream 7 is that one of Sydney's daughters gets attacked. I definitely think she's going to get attacked. 100%. Tatum is definitely getting attacked in this film, I can tell you that much for sure. We even got some video of that earlier in the year. And maybe the attack on one of Sydney's daughters could be the opening attack. Like the opening, so like the opening kill is coming after one of Sydney's daughters, but maybe she lives. She pulls a Jenna Ortega on us kind of thing. And you also want to see Neil Prescott back. That gets killed. He gets killed in the opening of Scream 7, which leads Sydney back against Ghostface. I feel like he's got to be dead at this point. Like, is that an awful thing to say? Neil, I feel like there's no how's he coming back? You know. I don't know what's going on. I feel like Neil might have died off screen. That's kind of my thoughts and feelings. But that would be crazy if you know what a way to say that I'm coming for you, Sydney, by killing your only surviving parent. That's pretty fucked up. I mean, that's pretty brutal. So who knows? I mean, anything can happen in this upcoming flick, and I'm excited to see it. Reaper Kid is saying, "I thought Sydney's dad was already dead." I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if it's ever been confirmed in the movies. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I feel like somewhere along the line, someone might have said something. There might have been something on the board in the background of some kind of police station, something along those lines. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if there's ever been confirmation on that or not. RJ Skarenki is saying, "What if Sydney's daughter was the mastermind behind the Ghostface cult? Why? Why would she be doing that? She was raised by Sydney Prescott, and now she's the killer. Man, I don't know. Kind of tough for me to believe. I can see it with Jill, who, like, Sydney was just a very small part of her life. You know what I mean? And just went crazy, went for fame, went on a killing spree so she could take what Sydney had. That makes sense to me, but her own daughter that's been living with her whole life, I don't know. I'd be like, huh? What do you mean? Jacob Wells is with us. What's up, Jacob? How are you, my friend? Hey, what's up, Jake? Can't wait for the stream, my friend. I'm so glad you're hanging out with us, my dude. Black Phone 2 comes out next weekend. I wonder if it's going to be a franchise hit like Elm Street or Scream. It would be cool for sure. I would love to see that turn into a big new slasher franchise. I get to see this one early, which I'm really thankful and excited for. And I hope it's good. We've heard mixed reviews out of the screenings. With some of the critics who got to see this one hella early. I only get to see it like a week early, but I'm really hoping it's good. I'm hoping it gives this franchise a reason to be a franchise, because where it stands, I think the Grabber's a great villain, but like, I don't think we even need a Black Phone 2, but I'm excited for this movie to see if they were successful in those efforts to turn this into a Nightmare on Elm Street inspired franchise. I'm all about that, man. I love me some Nightmare on Elm Street, love me some Freddy Krueger. Would love to see if this could be kind of something to fill the void in those spaces. You know what I mean? We want some Dream Demon action here in the slasher space, with Ghostface being back, Michael Myers having a recent resurgence. I want to see Freddy back on the big screen. Is this the way to do it? God, I hope so. That would be fun. We know that Blumhouse wants to make not Friday movies. They probably want to make those too, but we know that they want to make Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but it just doesn't seem like Jason Blum can get the old and thick Robert Englund back in all that makeup. So my guess is that he's pivoting to the grabber, saying, "Well, what if Mr. Ethan Hawke decides to put on the finger knives? What can we do with that?" That's kind of my guess as to how this whole thing came about, the impetus of it. So I'm excited to see if they were successful in that route. What is this prototype of Nightmare on Elm Street essentially going to look like in a little bit of a different sense? Cold, kind of cold and icy over fiery and burning flesh. I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. How that all plays out. Definitely excited for Black Phone 2, though. Also, if Scream ever gets rebooted again with all new casts playing Sidney, Gale, and Dewey, oh man, no. No one can play those roles. What? Then I think Paramount needs to hire some actors who could play the roles for a good 10 years or something. I mean, you can have people come in and play new characters. I can't see anyone playing, no one else can play Sidney, Gale, or Dewey. It's just... man, perfect casting with Nev, Courtney, and David Arquette. You're never gonna get better than that. I wouldn't mind a reboot where it's brand new characters. We're trying out whole new kinds of characters. I'm okay with that, but I don't think anyone else can play Sidney Prescott. I just feel like these people are way too iconic. We got Paula Fitzhenry in the house. What's up, Paula? Welcome in. Who else is here? Phoenix. Hey, yo. Ghostface got Jake. So sorry. Yeah, we're a little late to the stream, but we made it, damn it. Gory Tiger's also with us. What's up? What's up? Welcome in, my friend. Horror Bloody Horror. I love that name. Hey, Jake. What's up, Horror Bloody Horror? How are you? Welcome in. What's going on? Mar Rouch is saying, hey, so excited for 7. What do you think of this Jude guy? He's getting me so pumped. I wait for him to drop something every day. I had a conversation with Jude because I wanted to see if what he was talking about was kind of legit, and I can't say what we talked about, but I believe him personally, based on some of the other stuff that I've seen. I believe him. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe here's the thing too. He's made some very specific claims. Like I think recently he said that there's a specific actor who's going to be in Scream 7. And if these things aren't true, well, I guess then we'll know it's a bunch of BS. But I believe him based on some things I've seen. I believe him. Let's just say that. I hope he doesn't give away everything about the movie. I feel like he's I honestly feel like now he's kind of just giving away like some smaller details about the film to avoid giving away some big spoilers. You'll notice he's been posting like things about what Gale's gonna be wearing in Scream 7, things like that. So I think he's really just kind of running out of things to say. Once we get into trailer talk territory, once that kind of drops, I think then it's gonna start. A lot of things are gonna start getting real. Also, the other thing too about Jude is he's posting a lot of like his own opinions on the movie and how he feels about it. So I also feel like that's kind of it's through a biased lens. What is this movie actually gonna look like? Well, we're gonna find out, in February. So that's the other thing about his tweets too. Guy's been really nice to me. Really appreciate him reaching out and stuff. But yeah, that's my other thing about a lot of his tweets is they do come off as a little biased. There's nothing wrong with that. He clearly loves the franchise. I always try to look at it through a little more objective, through an objective lens. I've gotten myself so hyped up for horror sequels, and then I hate being disappointed with some of them sometimes. So whenever it comes to Scream, I try to be a little more cautious. These are tough movies to get right, man. There's a lot you got to do to make a good Scream movie. I think some people can just settle with the fun campiness, that energy, as long as you hit that right on the head. Some people are vibing with it, but there's a million things that need to happen for a Scream movie to really work. These are very, very, very complex slasher flicks, despite having a very simple draw, you know what I mean? So I'm a little more critical, I guess, on the Scream films, but I'm excited to see what this one's all about, and God, I hope it's good. What else is going on? Nizam is saying, please don't kill Gale. Well, we'll just have to see. I don't know. It sounds like Gale's down in the dumps. She might need to do some redemption action. So We'll have to see. Mr. Rick, thank you for being a channel member, my friend. Thank you for the support. What's up? What's up? I'm in the process of watching all the VHS movies. I'm on the 4th one. What the hell was up with the 3rd one? It just didn't make sense to me. Am I alone in my thoughts? No, the 3rd one's the worst. The 3rd one is like universally hated. That's the Final Destination 4 of that franchise. I'm so serious. It's a rough one for sure. It had some production issues. It had one segment entirely that didn't even make the film because they decided not to shoot it found footage. So they're like, okay, well, we're not going to put it in the movie. It's weird too. It's like a music video more than anything. It's not even like a story if you do get the chance to watch it. Probably my least favorite segment in all of VHS, and it was even cut from the film, you know, so it's one of those weird things. But VHS Viral, it's a rough one, but after that it starts to go back uphill. VHS 94 is a very strong entry. So enjoy. You're getting into a really cool part of the franchise, the renaissance essentially from 94 onwards. So I'm excited to hear your thoughts on all that fun stuff. What else is hanging? Do I think that Gale will die? I mean, Gale totally could die. I feel it just depends on what they're going to do with her arc. We're hearing from Jude, who we brought up today, that she's going to go through some really dark stuff in this movie. She's essentially going to get canceled. She's going to have some cancel culture hit her. What's her way of redeeming herself? What's her way of like coming back from that? Could it be self-sacrifice? Could that be a thematic way of doing that to, maybe save Sydney's life, save Sydney's daughter? It's doing something really selfless. I feel like that means more when it comes to a character like Gale than it does with Dewey. Just because like with Dewey, it's expected. Like I would expect him to, throw himself in front of a knife for anybody. That's just the man that he was. With Gale, it shows a complete character arc is what it does. And to me, that would be really fucking awesome. I don't know. I think that would be sweet. Personally, I'd be very into something like that because it would just be like, oh my God, this character who went from this really shitty, just self-serving character in the first couple of Scream movies has changed all the way into that by the time you get to Scream 7. That to me is a great arc. That is a phenomenal writing, phenomenal arc. Would love to see would love to see something like that happen if it's written well. I also wouldn't want you to just kill Gale off just for shock value. You like do it with a purpose. You know what I mean? Do it to complete that arc. Because that's the other thing too. I don't want Gale to just die like that. That's not what I'm here for. I would want to see it be one of those things where it's like, oh well, we completed her arc. That's why she's dead. There's just there's nothing else we can do with this character. That rocks. That's really cool to me. That could be a great story to tell here. But it all just all just depends on how they do it. All just depends on how they make that happen. Neems is with us saying, Jake, you fucking legend. What's up, Neems? Thank you so much for being here. What's up? What's my favorite motive of the Ghostface killers? Mickey's motive by far is my absolute favorite. I think it is so cool. The idea that he just wants to kill people and then get away with it by blaming it on the movies. That is the most Scream motive there is. That is the screamiest, Ghostfaciest motive of the entire franchise. I love it. I think Scream 2 could have been the best film in that whole franchise, but they didn't do enough with Mickey, in my opinion. I think Mickey is the most interesting Ghostface killer, and I fear they did not do enough with him in that film. I would have liked a lot more of a focus on that whole side of the plot, where I feel like it was kind of pushed to the side. And I don't know if that's because of the production issues or what happened with it, but that to me was way cooler. Mickey and his motive, like one of my favorite things about this entire franchise. Love it, love it, love it. Critical Overlord is with us saying, I'll say this, if that uni horror account had what some of us did, a lot of real leaks would have happened by now. Jude isn't unreliable. I've talked with him. I believe some of the stuff he's saying. But yeah, I don't want to get too far into it. I'm not trying to spoil. My goal here is not to spoil the movie, but that's all. I'm done. that's all I'm saying with that. CB reacted as saying 44 watching, but the like button isn't mathing. You know what to do. Come on now, baby. Hit that like button. Go ahead, give it a slap. Give it a big old nasty hit. Come on now. Chris Baisden is saying, I have a bad feeling she might die. She could. It all just depends on where they end up going with it, I guess is is kind of what'll happen for me. Like Gale dying, I don't want it to just happen because it might ruin her arc. I would want them to complete the arc, then kill the character if that's what they want to do, if that's the route that they want to take. That could be fun. There's a very, let's be honest, there is a very soap opera element to this series. So if she jumps in front of the bullet, that wouldn't be so out of the realm of Scream. I feel for that. Gina, thank you for the $2. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that a ton. Saying, hit that like button, please, people. Go. Yeah, sure. Sure. Hit it. If you want, whatever you want to do. Gina, appreciate you so much for the super chat there. Thank you for the support. Really does mean a lot. You're kicking off our super chat goal here. You freaking rock. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the like. the big ol' nasty thumbs up. I like it. Paul is saying my favorite motives are Billy's, Mickey's, Jill's, Roman's, Richie's. I have seen enough toxic fandom online. Yeah, it's relatable. It's like there's probably some Richies out there, right? I understand that. Jill's motive I think is also pretty fucking awesome. Really like the idea. Like it's so cold. It's so sociopathic. Like Jill is like the last Ghostface killer I'd want to be in a room with. Like she's insufferable to me. The way she eats cheese sticks. That's also pretty upsetting. I don't like it. You just can't trust someone who just, no, if you're not slowly taking pieces off and then I just don't trust you. John Best is with us. You're the best, John. What's up? Jake, my friend, how are you today? I'm phenomenal, dude. I just got out a video about Predator Badlands, a movie I'm really excited for here that's coming out in about a month now. Really excited for this film. I could see this being a top 10 of the year. Really, really, really hyped. So I'm going to start covering it a little more this month if I can. So definitely check out that new video if you get some time after this stream. I'm really, really excited to get into that one. It's going to be fun. Sonic Caden is saying I need Dewey to come back. He is coming back. He's going to be in Scream 7. So we'll see some more Dewey. Don't you worry. Probably in flashbacks, but but it's something, right? Critical Overlord saying Jill is an evil Carly Shay. Oh my God, she is. How did I never put that together? That's so funny, dude. I remember loving Scream 4. That was my first Scream movie that I ever saw. I loved that movie, and I'm trying to think about it now, and I'm like, oh my God, I loved Scream 4 because the killer was basically evil Carly Shay. It all makes sense now. I religiously watched iCarly. I think that's half the reason I wanted to be a YouTuber when I was a kid. Oh my God. Wow. The eureka moment I just had because of Critical Overlord here. This is crazy. This is crazy out here, man. This is why I love Scream so much. It's because of iCarly. we figured some crazy shit out today. Clark Kehoe is saying, would Saw 11 be better with a Hoffman-focused movie? It seems like we ain't doing any of it. We're just scratching all the lore is how it sounds like with Saw 11. That's another franchise I want to do a video on soon. We're hearing some really interesting things all the way up from the top. Mr. Jason Blum himself is saying that James Wan has got his dirty little fingers all over this franchise and he's going to do some crazy shit with it to basically rework the whole thing. I'm just kidding. I love James Wan. He's amazing. I'm excited to see what he does with Saw 11, but I am worried because I feel like the franchise is in a good spot right now, and I don't want that to change. I feel like Saw X was great. Continue that storyline. Do the Hoffman movie. You know what I mean? That's kind of what feels like should be up next. But it feels like they're just basically gonna nuke the whole franchise except the original film and just kind of do something spanning off of that, just following Mr. John Kramer again. And I'm not against that. You know what I mean? I'm not against that by any means. That probably will be a good movie, but I feel like we have something really cool set up here now. I don't know. So that's another franchise that's in some kind of mysterious water right now. Don't know what's going on there. Pat and Jester also hanging out with us saying, hey, Jake, just got here from your Predator Badlands video. Thank you for watching. Not really sure about the MPAA rating at PG-13, but other than that, I'm excited for it to come out. Yeah, I definitely talked about that a little bit. I'm okay with it. I'm like, I think this can work. I think this can work if they go about it the right way. And honestly, it kind of has me more excited for the film based on some things the producer said. But go watch that video if you want to hear my thoughts on a PG-13 Predator film. Why I think that can weirdly work. Because it just might work. Austin Daniels is saying, I think Jill has the best motive, but Mickey's is my favorite. He's my favorite Ghostface by far. I just want more from Mickey. I can't call Mickey my favorite Ghostface because he just does nothing in that third act. That's my thing. I think he's on paper the best Ghostface. But he kind of just shows up and gets shot. That's kind of all he it doesn't, to me, it does not make sense that Mickey is the sidekick Ghostface. Like, he should have been leading that whole operation. That just makes way more sense to me. Every time I watch that third act, it just has me scratching my head a little bit. Clearly a product of rushed production, which is a shame, which is a real shame. I think Steve 2, Scream 2 could have been better. Scream 2 is one of those movies that I feel like could have been a stronger film. Steve L is saying, Mickey and Jill are my favorite villains of the series. Great choices, great choices. Amber is probably the most ruthless Ghostface. The way she killed Dewey was so brutal. Very true, very true. We can't forget about Amber. Her crazy third act performance, I think, is one for the record books. Gotta love that. Her shooting Liv in the face is still one of the most shocking moments of this whole franchise for me. Love that. Love that, King Matthew. Sean is saying, hi, Jake. Love you, man. You are always up for a laugh. You're goddamn right, Sean. How are you, my friend? Thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate you for stopping in the stream. Thanks for hanging out on a Wednesday. It's hump day, baby. Time to chill in the middle of the week. We are almost to that freaking glorious light at the end of the tunnel weekend, baby, where we can all watch the Scream movies all over again, just like we do every weekend. I don't do that every weekend, but do you guys do that every weekend? Well, let's find out. Let me know in the chat. Paul is saying the scene I wasn't a big fan of in Scream 96 was when Billy basically told Sidney to get over her mother's death. My girlfriend would rather call me a psycho killer than touch me insensitive. Yeah, Billy's a piece of crap, isn't he? I hate him. Not a big fan of Billy. He's a big old jerk. Phoenix is saying Amber did not kill Dewey. Impossible. Prove me wrong. All signs point to Stu. Well, Stu's dead, so you've been proven wrong. I don't know what to tell you there. Cody's saying I'm getting Scream 4, 5, and 6 finally on DVD. So pumped for that. I'll have them all now when I do. Very nice, very nice. I would go get them, but they're all the way in like rooms and a couple rooms over. But I have all the steelbooks, as dorky as that is, except for Scream 4. There's a Blu-ray steelbook, but like I'm waiting for the 4K. I hate to be so pretentious there, but I'm just gonna wait. They're gonna do it eventually. I have a steelbook for almost all the movies except for 4. It'll come soon. It'll happen. I'm really hoping, man, because I'm dying. I need that. It kills me walking by that on my shelf and just no steelbook right in the middle of this franchise. Brutal. Oh man. Doshi is saying, hot take. What's up, Doshi? How are you? I would have liked to see Kirby turn into Ghostface in Scream 6 instead. Having her snap after what happened to her would have been interesting. I think that would have been interesting. I would have been into a plot line like that. We were all kind of speculating that maybe Kirby was the killer in part 6. And I feel like with how much that movie was about the Scream franchise, to make a returning character we thought was dead the killer, that could have been kind of fun. I don't know. That kind of would have been an interesting new angle, a survivor of Ghostface becoming a Ghostface. You know, what's the story there? How could we have spun that? But yeah, I agree. I think that might have been fun. I think the Scream 6 reveal was just kind of disappointing for that reason. You know, the fact that they just kind of went and did the revenge motive again, family revenge. Familial revenge. That's not fun. I don't want to see that. We've done that enough times in this franchise. So yeah, I mean, Kirby turning into a Ghostface, that's something that probably, I don't know, maybe could still happen somewhere down the line. I'm open to it. I'm really open to it if they write it well and play it out well. Kirby, I think it's just kind of one of those things where maybe if it was a facade of everything she was saying in that movie, we could have spun it down that route. But now, yeah, I guess it's kind of hard. Now that she's this FBI agent hunting down ghost faces. But I don't know. I guess we'll see where that all goes in the next one. Cody is saying I'm too poor for steelbooks, Jake, so DVDs it is. Fair enough. I feel it. I haven't been able to buy myself any physical media within the last couple of months. It sucks. It's the only thing I like to collect, I say, is sitting in front of a bunch of a bunch of knickknacks. This is really all I have, though. This is all like the weird, inconsequential stuff I like to buy. Honestly, the majority of my money goes towards bills and food. I wish I wish I could say there was some other crazy thing I put it towards, but I'm really, I don't know. I really don't buy a whole lot of like this. I buy stuff for the set, you know, but that's about it. If you go through the rest of my apartment, there's really not a whole lot of horror stuff or posters on the wall, kind of things like that. Guys, we need Steve from Blue's Clues to be the new Ghostface. That dude is he's he's in like a metal band or like a grunge band or something like that. I was reading that recently that he's like I think he's like the singer in a grunge band or something. I'm like, that's so fucking cool. Like, what do you mean Steve from Blue's Clues is singing sad ass crazy rock music? I don't know. I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This is true. This is true, John. Raggedy Man is saying every weekend. No, The Crow, however, you watch that every weekend. You know, I still haven't seen that movie. I talked about wanting to watch it before that new one came out last year. Never got around to it. Still have not seen The Crow. I gotta put that on my watch list at some point. Joseph Wells is saying Stu is alive. Well, hey, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see, man. I'll be emotional if Stu is alive. I'll miss my good buddy Steven watching something like that. So it's one of those things where I'm like, if I see it, I'm just going to be emotionally biased. I don't even think I can critically analyze that at this point. So kind of my thoughts on it, unfortunately. Cody is saying they did Trevor wrong in Scream 4, shot in the no-no square, and then the head. Then he's going to blame the deaths on him like bro wanted love. Trevor was a jerk, man. Trevor was he was, I got to admit some of the characters in Scream 4 are a little underdeveloped for me, and Trevor is kind of one of those characters, but he still is he's a little bit of a butthole, even if Jill did him dirty. I've never seen The Crow. I know. Pat and Jester's like, you've never seen The Crow? I never put that one on. I never got around to it. I know all the history with it too. I know about, what happened with Brandon Lee, which is terrible. I never got around to actually sitting down and watching it. So one of these days I'm going to make it happen. Heck, a year ago I was saying that, but one of these days I actually am going to make that happen. It's October. It is the busiest time of the year for old Jake and horror content creators in general. So it's tough. It's a tough time to come by, but we're tough time to be able to sit down and watch a movie. But it's fun talking about movies too. I can't complain. Austin Daniels is saying, how come every killer seems to be coming back, but they can't get Timothy Olyphant? Mickey did a number on Sydney more than most killers, I'd argue. Timothy's busy in the Alien universe right now, messing around with a bunch of different alien parasites. But I don't know. It would be kind of cool to see him, if there was a reason for him to come back, I'll be expecting a formal apology from KillJoy Jake live on stream when they show how Stu survived. All right. Well, hey, we'll see, man. Would that be satisfying? You know what I mean? Like, would that be satisfying to hear that Stu was alive the whole time and we have to explain where he was for 30 plus years? I don't know, man. What would make me happy about it is that I know my good buddy Steven would love it. And that would be cool. But in terms of like critical analysis, I don't know what that would do for the Scream. I can't imagine that doing any goods for the Scream franchise moving forward. That would tell me the only new ideas we can come up with is bringing back killers from the past, because we can't come up with anything special now. So that begs the question, why make more movies? If that happened, I think there's a lot of people that would dip out of the Scream franchise. Like, I think there's a lot of people that would be like, okay, they're out of ideas. We're moving on to something else. Do we really want that? You know what I mean? Do we really want Scream 7 to just be it after them basically admitting defeat? I don't even want. I would rather that movie not even come out. I would rather just not see that at all. For me personally, that's what that movie would mean to me, and I just think that would bum me out, because I think there is a lot of good ideas for ghost faces and killers who could be coming after our characters still. I really don't. I don't think that they should admit defeat. There's so many more Scream stories they could do that I think it would just kind of bum me out if we got that story. So. My Junkie Jordy throwing another 2 out there. Thank you again, Gina. Really appreciate the support. You must watch the OG Crow. I got to get to that eventually. I got to get around to that. Honest to God, I think when I was going to watch it, I think it just wasn't on anything. Like, it just wasn't streaming anywhere, and I couldn't find it. Now it's got to be somewhere, right? 1994 film. Watch movie. Where can I watch this? It's on Tubi for free. Okay. Rock on. So I can watch it with a little bit of ads. That's not too bad. Okay. I'll put on The Crow sometime, because I would that would be a lot of fun to watch for sure. I'm hearing it's a like kind of a revenge story, and I really do vibe with those. So that with like a gothic flair over it, I guess is kind of what I'm heading for. I've never seen it before. That's just my my reaction to what I've been told. But I'm excited to dive into that one. That should be fun. A lot of history with that movie, you know, some not so great history, some cursed energy about it, but we'll see. Gina, thank you for the $2. I really appreciate your support of the page too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Phoenix is saying if they did it right, yes, it would be worth it. Dude, every horror movie usually has a killer that comes back, but that's what makes Scream stand out, is they don't have a killer that comes back. So you're also ripping that away from this franchise. That's my like I hear ya. But like Ghostface is not Jason Voorhees. Ghostface is not Michael Myers. You know what I mean? That's what makes him stand out. That's like the idea. It could be anybody, is what makes Scream so unique. The Ghostface moniker too, like what that means to this franchise. The fact that it could be a new person every single time. It's not a Scream movie if you don't do that, in my humble, I would argue it's not a Scream movie if you bring back a killer, no matter who it is. Like this is not a personal vendetta I have against Stu. It's just, I think like if you remove the idea, the core concept of Ghostface from Scream, it's no longer Scream. That to me is one of the biggest things that I love about this franchise. And I just wouldn't want to sacrifice that for anything, not even a minute of nostalgia with Matthew Lillard coming back as the character. But what we do know is that Matthew is back for this new flick. What's he going to do here? You know, what's he doing in this flick to play Stu Macher once again? I don't know. We'll have to find out. So he is in the film, you know, but how? To what capacity? Hayden TV is saying, I have a theory that Mark isn't the father to her eldest daughter, and the real father is one of the ghost faces. That could be interesting. I could get into something like that. We have a different, but like, would she have to be adopted then? Because here's my one thing about that, Hayden, is we casted Isabel May in this role, and I don't know if you've, like, dude, look at some picture. Like, this is weird, but because try to talk about this as objectively and critically as possible. I remember doing like a side-by-side of Isabel May with a young Nev Campbell. Dude, I mean, the casting is uncanny. They did a really good job finding an actress that can play her biological daughter. So that's kind of my thing about it. It would have to be like someone who actually is blood related, or maybe that's the trick, is it's just someone who happens to look like Sydney. But I don't know. I feel like there's a way you could write that story for sure. But they seem to have done a very good job at casting someone that does look like a young Nev Campbell with Isabel May. So I feel like that's definitely a factor there. I also don't know if I want them to do like a Scream 4 twist again, where it's someone who's part of the family that's a killer. I'm really hoping for something like just totally fresh. I don't want to be walking out of this movie just like how we were with Scream 6 saying, well, wasn't that kind of just Scream 2 again? I would hate to walk out of Scream 7 and be like, well, wasn't that just kind of Scream 4 again, you know? Especially after that was a big criticism of 6. I really think that 7 just has to get away from those comparisons entirely if they're really going to do a good return to form, a good fresh feeling Scream movie. But we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. Samantha Robinson, thank you for the buck. Really appreciate you supporting the page. You're helping out, getting us to all the way through our super chat goal here. Guys, so much love to you all. Thank you for the support. Doshi is saying, what if the twist is Stu got to redeem himself and he's actually a good person now? Would that ruin it for everyone? Still going back to the whole he's alive argument. I think that if they did a direct sequel to the original Scream and they decided to say that Stu was still alive, I could get into that. That's a totally different story. And then you could do like a redemption, like a Hannibal Lecter thing where he's in prison or something and Sydney's coming for him, asking for answers and questions and all that. My other thing too is like, the Stu stuff just drives people to this franchise. Like every single time there's a new movie, people are going to drive to the series. If I were the people writing Scream, I would literally never touch that. I would never touch the idea that Stu could be alive or dead. I would leave that Schrodinger's cat in the box. You know what I mean? Just so that it can always be this indefinite answer. Because people are going to come back to Scream forever as long as they don't answer that question, because they could bring him back. They could bring back Stu then for the future forever and onwards. And it'll keep people just coming back and coming back and coming back. So I don't know. For me, it's one of those things where like if I'm in charge of Scream, I just wouldn't touch that. I would hint at it, do another, just constantly be hinting at the idea that Stu could be alive, but then just do nothing with it. Because that's gonna drive people to the box office. That's gonna drive people to put their butts in seats. Honest to God, I wouldn't. But once again, I can't stress this enough that if they did a direct sequel, erasing all the other sequels to Scream, just that first movie, and they said that Stu was alive, they want to treat him like a Hannibal Lecter. That could be That could be cool. It wouldn't be the first time that Scream has, yanked different sequences from other franchises and implemented them into their own narrative. You know what I mean? So I could very much so get into something like that. Gina, thank you for another buck. Really appreciate your support. You rock. So much love to you. So much love. So much love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Tamala Voorhees is saying, do you have a business email for whoever to reach out? Yes. KillJoyJake1@gmail. You can send me some stuff there. Any business related inquiries, throw them out. Kyle Gordon is saying, I'm getting sick of those fake trailers that get posted. The latest one I saw looks so real, but I don't know how for sure. Hopefully we get it in November. The thing about the fake trailers is that if you don't see them coming from like a reliable website or YouTube channel, that's your first telling. There's fake trailers all the time for different sequels that aren't happening. I think YouTube kind of cracked down on those maybe like a year ago now, but you'll still see some stuff from time to time that slips through the cracks kind of thing. My thing is I'm subscribed to a few news networks that are just reliable. Like just whatever they post, you can trust that it's going to be legit. And I just, that's kind of how I approach it. I follow the people who I know aren't going to just make a bunch of BS, right? Cause that sucks, right? That gets your hopes up for something that's not happening. Like, where's the fun in that? Phoenix is saying, but if that was the case, then why wasn't the Scream TV show successful? You can't throw random people into a movie and call it a Scream movie. It's fun. Anyone can be Ghostface, but eventually it gets dry. The Scream TV series the Scream TV series had 3 seasons. That's successful. I mean, the 3rd season was a bit of a dip just because I feel like the writing was rough, but I mean, I still liked the core concept. I feel like was there. You might disagree, and that's totally fine. But that Scream TV show was definitely successful. It had three whole seasons. I think if you get renewed for more than 1 season, you're a successful TV series. I mean, that's something. I mean, there's TV series that are more successful than others, but I mean, would you call Breaking Bad, not successful because it only had 5 seasons, like opposed to something like Grey's Anatomy that's had a fucking million? You know what I mean? No, the Scream TV series was, I mean, honestly, I do give that show some shit sometimes, but I mean, in terms of the franchises, the franchises that have gone to the small screen, that's not the worst by any means. I have seen way worse TV series that are based on ongoing franchises that definitely did not work for me. But the Scream TV series, the writing's kind of all over the place in my opinion, but it does have some cool stuff, some cool reveals. I think the 2nd season reveal especially is something really special. I really like season 2 of that show was definitely my favorite. Season 3 kind of rough, but hey, Keke Palmer saves it. It's kind of a shame that Keke Palmer is in Scream, but not the movies, though. I will say that. That's a shame to me. It would be nice to see her in the actual movies themselves. That would be awesome. Gina with another buck. Thank you so much. We are halfway to our goal, ladies and gentlemen. You guys freaking rock. Thank you so much for the love. Gina, thank you. Really does mean a lot. Thank you for the support. Y'all rock. What else is going on here? We got Cody saying, do you think them killing Randy was a mistake if his character was still alive? You think he would have made it through 4, 5, and 6? Or do you think he would have made the same fate? He would have had the same fate as Dewey. Here's what I'll say. I think they made a mistake. No, I don't want to say that. I like his death because it's a good idea because it tells me that the killers here in Scream 2 killed the horror movie genius. That makes the whole sequel a little more scary, a little more intimidating. The idea that this Ghostface is better than what came before, that's kind of how it sets itself up. I think there's a good argument to say they had to kill Randy there, and I think that was ultimately a good move. But could you imagine Randy in Hollywood? I mean, I don't even know how you'd write him into that scenario. I don't even know how you get him there. But dude, Randy running around Hollywood on a film set, just geeking out. There was so much potential there. Scream 3 could have been fucking awesome with Randy involved, I think for sure. But I mean, I guess you still get him in the tapes or whatever. But like him actually physically being there would have been something else. I think definitely would have been awesome. Phoenix is saying maybe I need to try the show again. If you didn't like the show, that's totally fine. I'm not if it wasn't your cup of tea. That's totally fair. I think the what I'll say about the show, my criticisms is that the characters are just nowhere near as good as the movies. But I thought some of the reveals, the season 1 and 2 reveals, were pretty fun. I feel like season 3 is kind of obvious. It's like, yeah, of course it's this person. Like, what? But seasons 1 and 2 are not bad in terms of the mystery. It was a fun little story. It's nothing that compares to the movies, I don't think, but it's cool. It's cool for what it is, and it clearly garnered a little bit of an audience. It got 3 seasons, so it's not like. My point is, I guess it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. The Scream TV series too, you're also working with a much lower budget when it's TV versus movies. So like, I feel like, you don't have as much star power there. It's understandable why it's something like the TV series just wasn't at the same quality as something like the movies, you know what I mean? Where you do have people like Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, and even in some of these new movies, Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, Mason Gooding, I couldn't remember his name, Jasmine Savoy Brown. Like these are actors and actresses that have been in a ton of different things, pretty seasoned at this point, even if they are, maybe younger. So I don't know. That's kind of my thing about it. The show's not bad, but the movies are definitely better. Just has a lot more talent in front and behind the camera. But the show was fun. Show's a good time. It's whatever. Doshi is saying Ghostface's motive is Sydney puts too much cream in their coffee. This one's gonna be called Cream 7. I put too much cream in my coffee. My fiance recently was telling me that. She's like, you gotta stop. It's too much. Your coffee should be like brown, and mine is like almost white. It's a problem. Tamala is saying, quick note apart from Scream, have you seen the new Monster Ed Gein series? I've heard your opinion on the adaptions of these infamous sick characters, but so far the series has been interesting. Yeah, I'm just not interested. I watched one episode of the Jeffrey what was it, the Jeffrey Dahmer season, and like I was just immediately uncomfortable. I was immediately not vibing with it. It's a portrayal of Jeffrey Dahmer where it seems like the goal of the scene was to make you laugh at it. And like, that's just really distasteful. It's one thing when it's Art the Clown, who is not real, and none of those deaths are even remotely real. It's all fiction. But then here's a scene of Jeffrey Dahmer luring a victim into his house, and why are we playing this like the scene in American Psycho, the Hey Paul scene? Why is it like basically a recreation of that but with Jeffrey Dahmer? That's not fun. That's just sick and twisted. I'm not a fan. I have no interest in talking about that show or covering it, and I would honestly and also like it's falsified info to make the drama more interesting. Doesn't that put a bad taste in your mouth? I don't know. I have no interest in that monster show, and I'm honestly kind of shocked that it's such a following. No interest whatsoever. I will never cover that. I'm so sorry. I don't even really like talking about it, if I'm being honest, because that gives it energy. But yeah, I don't get the hype. I don't get the love. Not for me at all. Just so distasteful and kind of fucking awful to the victims that are still with us today, So kind of a big bummer. Ashton Luck is with us. What's up? How's it going? Howdy, hey. CB Reactin is saying, I think a male relative of Stu will kill Mindy. Chad will live on to continue the theory telling of his uncle and sister. Keep on saying talk about the legacy. Mindy doesn't seem to be a very loved character. Mindy doesn't get a whole lot of love, does she? I feel like, when it comes to, characters dying, it needs to be somebody who is loved, because it's shocking. It's heartbreaking. Not to say that Mindy isn't beloved, you know what I mean? But I just feel like there are other characters that it would hit a little harder, you know what I mean? If you're going to have an emotional death in there, have it be a character that we're going to really, it's going to hit home for, we have a lot of legacy with a character. I just don't feel like killing Mindy would really do that, even with, Judy, even Judy in Scream 5, there's a little bit of oh my God, shit. She was there, and she kind of saved the day a little bit in Scream 4, and now she's dead. That's kind of crazy to me. There's something there. So Derek Weber, what's going on, my friend? How are you, Derek? Saying, I've enjoyed the series. Some moments were so intense and very impactful. There's definitely some good stuff in the show. Yeah, I'm lukewarm on it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But there's some good moments for sure. There's some good twists as well. Evan is saying, who is your favorite killer? My favorite killer. So I said Mickey, I think, is like on paper, the most interesting ghost face, probably has the best motive. My favorite killer, I mean, the guy I like to watch the most is definitely Stu. I mean, Stu's physical performance alone just sells him, puts him up there for me. I really love Stu. Billy and Stu are great. Gotta love those two. I think Billy and Stu are really the only two ghost faces that have scared me. Like, I think there's like some good twists and turns throughout the whole franchise, but in terms of like what ghost faces scare you, Billy and Stu are definitely at the top of that list, like without a doubt. I don't think anyone else even comes close. Like Jill, maybe a little bit. There's things that I'm just sickened by when it comes to Jill. I don't know if she scares me necessarily, but there's some genuine like scary energy about, you know, Billy and Stu stabbing each other and being so nonchalant about it. Like that's like genuine horror in that first Scream movie. There's some scary stuff in there, man. I love that sequence. I think it's great. But yeah, in terms of who's my favorite, like Stu's my favorite to watch. Mickey, I think on paper is the most interesting ghost face. That's what I'll say. Gina, thank you so much, throwing a $1, $2, $3 out there into the chat. Thank you so much love, Gina. You are killing it. You're single. You and Samantha are just like both both fueling the super chat goal today. So really appreciate you. We'll get 2 more of those stinky stinkeroos. We'll be going for a whole nother hour. So love to see that, Gina. Thank you for the love. Really appreciate it a ton. Thank you. Cody is saying Leaks just dropped Ghostface, Jason, Poppy Playtime, the Grabber, and the Scooby gang are coming to Fortnite next week. That's exciting. Might have to play some Fortnite over on the gaming channel. Which, speaking of which, I am doing a Dead by Daylight stream tonight. There's a little bit of there's a new chapter in Dead by Daylight, so I think it's going to be fun to return to that. I'm going to start doing like daily gaming streams for a little while throughout October, playing some more horror games and stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, go check out GullGotha. It's going to be fun. Definitely going to be a good time over there. ASMR Ty is saying, welcome to Derry is going to cook. Pennywise is going to have some shine. Really excited for that. Well, I keep forgetting when that is. Welcome to Derry. Is that like, that's this month, right? If I'm not mistaken, that comes out very soon here. October 26th. Okay, so that's the end of the month. Right. Gotcha. Definitely excited for that for sure. Really hoping for some quality there. You know, I would love to see Pennywise's return be something really special. It Chapter 2 wasn't really super loved, got critically panned. I'm a weird apologist for it. I kind of vibed with it. It's not, I don't think it's better than the first one, but I liked it for the most part. The ending's weird, but most of it I think kind of rocks. I'm excited for this show to hopefully kick a little more ass. That would be cool. It's got a really cool concept going backwards in time with each season. I want to see this thing go through its full arc, and I hope it's good. I just hope it's quality. What else do we got going on here? Mig is hanging out with us. Official Mig on Tiv is saying, my sister told me to not watch VHS Halloween because she says it's awful. This is VHS has gotten the new VHS has gotten a real mixed reaction, oddly enough. I don't understand that. As a fan of this franchise since I was very young, basically since I saw those first 3 movies for the first time, I think it might be my favorite one. I loved every second of it. I was sitting on the edge of my seat watching that screener for this movie. I fucking loved it. I don't know. I thought it was amazing. There's really only like one segment that I feel you could argue is weaker than the others. Like I'd understand if you weren't crazy about that one, but man, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. Like VHS Halloween, it's very up there. I'm a huge found footage and anthology fan. So I'm definitely I just loved everything that VHS Halloween decided to offer up. That movie cooked. It had some crazy ideas and some really fun things it was able to deliver. That last segment too is just it's stuck in my head. It's a really interesting idea. Some great stuff happening right at the end there, but a lot of good stuff happening in VHS Halloween. I highly recommend giving it a watch at the very least. A lot of people, I feel like, are just unfairly saying the whole thing is trash. Like, the whole thing is trash. There's not one segment. I don't know. Like, to me, as a huge fan of this franchise, it's like there's at least one segment in there that I think anybody can kind of vibe with. There's a lot. There's so much variety in this one too. Like, there's a really funny one. There's a really gross one. There's a really scary one. There's a really like outrageous, like boundary pushing one. I don't know. To me, it's like I think everybody can like find at least one segment in that movie specifically that they can kind of vibe with. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That's just that's just my thoughts, at least, on it. Josh Idle is saying Jill is up there. Jill is definitely up there. She's got some scary moments, man. She's got some freaky stuff going on in 4. Great motive, great killer for sure. CB Reactin is saying, I'm intrigued to know how more about this hospital patient that Gale knocks down. Who do you think he could be? I'm not sure. I'm really guessing this is going to be some sort of play on Halloween Kills is my guess in terms of, why are we doing this? What is this whole thing about? Halloween Kills, was heavily criticized for having a little bit of social commentary and also getting into, showing some of the other mental patients basically escaping and running around and people thinking they're Michael Myers when they're not. And I love that angle to Halloween Kills. People really do not. They just want to see Michael running around killing. But like, if you want to see Michael running around killing, that is in the movie. I promise you, that's in there too. So I feel like Scream 7 is definitely going to get into some commentary on its kind of big competitor Halloween here. And I think that might be interesting. I'm guessing that's what this plot point is going to be all about, serving a new kind of story here. Gino with another buck. We appreciate the support. Thank you. So much love to you, Gina. If you're enjoying watching, what's the harm of hitting the like button, says Gina. Gina is adamant that you hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys don't do that, Gina's going to start biting off some fingers, man. It's going to get brutal out here. So much love to you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Froggy Fresh Shitpost is saying, Art the Clown's coming to Fortnite too. Love it. Love to see it. Lots of people in Fortnite. I think we're going to do the first ever Fortnite stream over on the over on KillGotha soon, which is going to be fun. What else is going on here? Evan is saying, did you hear that Skeet Ulrich is going to be in the upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's movie? Yeah, we are getting the we are getting the Billy and Stu reunion. It's just not happening in Scream. It's happening in Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm actually excited to see what that's all about. That has me a little more excited for this new Five Nights at Freddy's, knowing that both of our favorite ghost faces are going to be in there. So I think that's going to be fun. I'm really excited to see what that's all about. Skeet is also playing a character that I guess is very close to Matthew Lillard's character in the canon. I'm not a Five Nights at Freddy's expert by any means, but it sounds like this is going to be something that could be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm here for it. I'm staying open-minded. I wasn't crazy about the first Five Nights at Freddy's. It was kind of just like it was a glorified kids movie with a little bit of Tim Burton horror elements, I guess, to it. But that game scares the shit out of me, and I was kind of hoping for a little bit of that, at least like. I'm a simple guy to please when it comes to horror movies. If you're gonna make a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, have some jump scares, have some some crazy things happen, have some scary things happen. It's kind of what the attraction to the game is outside of the cool concept. And they didn't deliver even one of those, I feel, in the film. So like I want jump scares. Call me a simpleton, call me what you want, but if we're gonna make a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, you got to deliver some jump scares. Like, are you kidding me? If Freddy Fazbear isn't poking his head into a door really quickly and with a loud sound, I'm gonna be disappointed. Like it feels like such a simple ask, but for me, I feel like that Five Nights at Freddy's movie, they're just banking on the fact that kids are gonna show up, so they're like, let's not make it scary at all and just make a bunch of money. And that to me is just like, well, that's a waste of time to someone who isn't 8 years old. You know what I mean? I don't know. But that's just my thoughts on the matter. I love when kids movies can be entertaining for both kids and adults. I think Shrek is such a great example of this. It has some secret, innuendos in there, for the adults to appreciate, for the kids to just kind of stare blankly at the screen for a second. But then there's also, goofy antics for the kids to love. I don't know. To me, it's like, those are the best kids movies. Can we find that in Five Nights at Freddy's, which sure is aimed towards a younger audience, but can it find a way to satisfy everyone? Other kids movies have done it before in the past. I think Five Nights at Freddy's can do the same. So that's my argument about those films that I will go on and on and on about. Gina with another $2, fulfilling our super chat goal for the day. You freaking rock, Gina. Thank you so much. Ziggy is chilled. Keep talking, please. I got you. I got you. Thank you so much for the support, Gina. That really means a lot. Thank you for the love. Really does mean a lot. Helping keeping the lights on here at the KillJoy Jake Studios. Juan Carlos Reynosa is saying, would you want to see Jennifer Jolie come back? Yes. I think she's one of the best side characters without a doubt. but no, it's one of those things where it's like great character, but I don't think there's any reason to have her come back. She fits that story so well. She fits the Scream. She's like the best side character in Scream 3 without a doubt. I love the scene where we're at her house and and she just goes into what is it, Stone's arms. That little character moment is so funny to me. I love it. 10 out of 10. Some great stuff from Jennifer Jo Lee there. But would I want to see her come back? No. Like I don't think it's one of those things where I'm just like, I feel like, why ruin a character's legacy by shoehorning them into different stories? She worked so well in Scream 3. She's an actress. You know what I mean? She's a preppy, superficial actress who's, acting all like a prima donna the entire time. I don't, where do you fit her into a new Scream story? This modern, more grounded version of Scream. I don't know if that works. I love her in Scream 3. Wouldn't change that for the world, but I don't know if she would work in a new story. Nicole is saying Scream 7 theory is, what if Roman is alive, but he's stuck? He's stuck in hell? Oh my God, we're getting into angels and demons here with Scream now. Roman is trying to claw his way out of hell. He's a demon now. That's crazy. That's crazy. If Roman's alive in Scream 7, tell me how he could he's crawling his way out of hell. He made a deal with the devil. He outfiddled the devil. He learned how to play fiddle all these years. I mean, you know what? That makes sense. It's been like 30 years. It's been 25-ish years, basically, since Scream 3. He learned how to play the fiddle. That's what happened. Casey Mack, thank you for the 5, my friend. Really appreciate that. I know your profile. So here's the thing, Casey. I got a bone to pick with you. I know that your profile picture is Rocket Raccoon, but from a distance, like from where I'm sitting, it looks like Pumpkinhead. And I don't know why. Every time I see your profile picture, I'm like, nice Pumpkinhead. But then I look a little closer and it's Rocket Raccoon and Groot. So I don't know why I think that. Would you do me the favor of just changing it to Pumpkinhead so I don't accidentally say that? I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. I love Rocket. He's great. Love the Guardians of the Galaxy. Casey Mack, though, saying, watching your VHS rankings, I think I need to check out Kids vs. Aliens, seeing your recommendation. Dude, I'm not kidding. It ruined the ending of VHS 2 for me because that adaptation is so much better. So to defend my point on that, I know everybody and their mother says VHS 2 is the best one. And like, it's hard for me to disagree with that. It has literally 2 of the best segments in the whole VHS franchise. Dude, if VHS 2 is your favorite, respect. I can't argue with that. It's inarguable. Truly does. Safe Haven and Ride in the Park, 2 of the best VHS segments without a doubt. Made by some total legends too, by the way. My thing about VHS 2, I don't like the wraparound. I think it is like more nonsensical and more, kind of pervy than even the first movie's wraparound. Never been crazy about it. But then the last segment, Kids versus Aliens, whatever it's called in VHS 2, I don't even remember. But the feature version of it, which is made by the same people, by the way, Jason Eisner, so much better. Like, it literally ruined the short for me because the feature length is even better, like just so much better in every regards. My problem with that segment in VHS 2 is the characters are so unlikable. I don't care. The saving grace of that entire segment is what happens to the dog. And I say that because it makes me actually care about a character that's on screen. Because I don't care. The kids suck. The older teenagers suck even more. Just everyone in that entire segment. I don't even want to spend the little 15 minutes of that short with them. I can't stand the characters. They make them likable in Kids versus Aliens. Actually, like super, super duper likable. And that's why I love that movie so much. It's so good. It's a quick watch. I think it's only like 70 something minutes. It's not found footage, but give it a watch because it's really interesting. Just such a better take on that story that I liked so much more. It goes to show that, when a short may not work for you, maybe there's other things we can add to something that just do make it work, flesh it out a little more. And Kids versus Aliens, it's one of those that I've really never been a big fan of that segment, but then I watched the feature length and I saw the vision, I saw the full scope of what, I think Jason wanted to do with that segment. And now I get it. Now I understand it. So I guess I'm on the fence with how I feel about the VHS 2 segment. What I will say is the idea is certainly there. I loved the feature length version of it. You got to watch that one. Really interesting take on it. And also the one at the beginning is kind of just the eye with a worse main character. Which, like, listen, if you're gonna if you're going to go down the pastiche route, you're going to take an idea that's already out there, you're going to spin it down your own way, find a way to make it better. If it's a worse version of the same idea, well, then that's all it is. You know what I mean? That's no fun. That's kind of how I feel about the, what is it, like clinical trials take 1 or something? Is that what the first segment in VHS 2 is? I can't remember. But KC Mac, thank you for the 5. Really appreciate that a ton. VHS 2 still rocks. Not trying to shit on that movie. It's awesome. I cannot sing the praises of Safe Haven and Ride in the Park enough. Those are the segments that made me fall in love with this franchise, truly. My God, VHS 2, it's so good. Killer entry. Who else is hanging out with us? We got Spider Monkey saying, what's up, Spider Monkey? How's it going? Hey, Jake, do you plan on making a video for a review of the first season of Creep Tapes to bring people up to speed? I did like a 2-part review back like when the first season came out last year. Or did I do a follow-up on that? So I remember I did a video reviewing the first 2 episodes. I don't remember if I actually I don't even remember if I did the follow-up review. You know what? Here's what I can do. I'm looking to do a video over on KillJoy Jake Retro, and I'm trying to pin down what my next topic is. I was gonna do the Black Phone, but I don't think I have enough time to make a whole gigantic deep dive video on the Black Phone before the sequel comes out, like literally next week. So I'm moving on to like what's the next big thing, and I'm thinking about covering Creep Tape season 1. It'll be a little bit of a follow-up to my first Creep video over there. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll talk about, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do for my next video on Jakey Retro. I'll talk about Creep Tape season 1 before Creep Tape season 2 comes out. That's a good idea. You know what? That's a good idea. I've been trying to pin down what my topic would be, and I think that might be it. I was on the fence about either doing that or or something about Predator, because like Predator Badlands comes out, but I think I might have more to say about, well, I don't know. There's a lot of good Predator movies too. I don't know what I'm going to see. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. Now you got me thinking about all kinds of things. I got all kinds of options I can do for my November video. I'm really only going to be able to post 1 video a month over there, but man, like they're going to be worth your time. I'll tell you that much. That VHS 94 video, that's the best video I've ever made. Like without a doubt. I'm so proud of it. I'll probably talk about Creep Tapes next. You know what? Something else I am going to do is the week before Halloween. I'll have a new video up on there talking about Halloween 3. It's a video that I posted on here last year, but it didn't do very well. And also I think there's more I can add to that video to make it something special. So I'm going to post a revamped version of that for the week before Halloween over on Jakey Retro. So definitely make sure to check that out. It's a brand new page. If you're like, Jake, what are you talking about? It's a brand new page where it's just going to be big, gigantic deep dive videos. Because this page is all about the updates. It's all about what happened today, and let's talk about it. Let's get into it. It's a little more conversational, a little more just my immediate thoughts on what's happening in the space nowadays. What's great about this other channel is I can kind of meditate on things for a little bit and just like sit on them, think about them, and then bam, we're talking about them. So definitely give that a watch. Spider Monkey, you rock. Thanks for the recommendation. Sweet, thank you. Would love to hear your theories for the upcoming season. And that's another good reason why I want to do it, because I do have theories for the upcoming season. And Spider Monkey, I'll say, I posted a short about this yesterday, maybe. Patrick Bryce and Mark Duplass, they talked a little bit about how they wanted to do a Creep 3 still, like a movie, like a third Creep film. And my thoughts on that were, okay, they're probably going to teach us some more things about Peach Fuzz throughout the season. We kind of learned, that last episode of season 1, we got a little taste of who this guy is via meeting his mom. And this season, I believe we're going to meet his sister or his wife, one or the other. And if that sounds fucked up to you, well, it is, because that's something that was set up in one of the movies. And now that same actress, who is Mark Duplass's real life wife, by the way, is coming into the franchise, which I am very excited to check out. Gina has actually just put the link for Jakey Retro right there, which is pretty awesome. Appreciate that a ton, Gina. Means a lot. Subscribe to if you're interested in watching deep dive videos, definitely give that a watch. If you're not interested in deep dive videos, and also I'm not talking about Scream over there, that's for this page, then go check it out. But you know, again, if you're open to content that isn't about Scream, that is about other things, go check that out. So that's kind of the goal with that page, is kind of to hopefully build another fan base. But if you want to check it out too, rock on, make it happen. Give it a watch. It's going to be a lot of passion projects over there, let me tell you. Joe Bad Gret is saying Demian Rugna should do a VHS segment. He did great in Satanic Hispanics. I second that. He may be working on the next Alien flick, which is really exciting and would absolutely love to see that. Joe Bad Gret, thank you for being a channel member too. Great choice. I'm going to try to put out a short this week talking about a few directors I want to I want to have be a part of the franchise, and that you already hit on one of them. So Demian 100% should do a VHS segment. I couldn't agree more. Nicole is asking what Scream 8 could be about. What's your prediction? A lot of people are saying that Scream 8 will be some sort of like continuation to 7. Like 7's gonna have a cliffhanger that bleeds into 8. Well, the reason people are saying that, why there is some weight to that theory, is that they're going into production for Scream 8 like the moment Scream 7 goes into the theaters. Like, we're gonna be having our Scream 7 reviews out, and then like immediately, like the next week, we're gonna be talking about production on the next movie. It's gonna be that quick of a turnaround. It's basically gonna be what happened with Scream 5 to 6 all over again. It's really exciting. It's a really exciting time to be a Scream fan once again. You know, last year was Dark Days. This year it's starting to all shape up again, where it's all starting to come back together, tighten up. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. I'm down for, a 2-parter, down for like some sort of 2-part little finale to the little duology to kind of close out the Sydney story. That could be interesting. I'm into it. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see where that ends up going. What my hope would be for Scream 8, if they do that, is that we would have one of the killers maybe get away somehow. And like, here's my thing. I guess big overall generalization, not to get too specific, is that I would want for them, if it's going to do a two-parter, to go down a different path entirely. To have a Scream movie that isn't set up in the ways that all the other ones are. Have Scream 7 have an ending that renders a part 2, that renders like there's more to this story. Maybe we have the Ghostface figured out, but somehow they've evaded the law. Somehow they've evaded dying and they're still out there. So what do we do now? How does the story shift? How does the story become something new because of that? I think that's the only way I would want a 2-parter, is for them to get into some real ambitious swing for the fences kind of territory. But it all just depends. It all just depends on what they're doing here in 7. It could be that, and I'm open to it for sure. But otherwise, I think from a Scream 8 that focuses on Sydney, I just. My thing is, I don't know if I would want to do 2 movies in a row that are exactly the same thing. You know what I mean? Pine Grove, Indiana, murder mystery. Another movie, Pine Grove, Indiana, murder mystery. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't want to do the thing where we just follow Tatum now. We're just following Sydney's kid. Well, we just did that. We just followed a new main character, and we killed that story. So, we're just gonna do the same thing again? Question mark. What's going on there? I would hope not. I would hope we're not just following the same path with a different lead actress. ASMR Ty is saying everything about the first Predator is near perfect. The team, the build, the ending. That would be a great one to talk about over on that page. I'm really considering it because I agree that original Predator movie, I think it's one of the very best action horror movies out there. Like there's just... I think Aliens is number 1, Predator's number 2. You know what I mean? Like of all time, come on now. I love both those movies to death. Arnold Schwarzenegger, come on now. Love it. So some great stuff in that original Predator. It's one of my favorites from that whole franchise too. The original Predator, I think, is objectively the best. Prey is up there for me though, man. I love me some Prey. Was awesome. And honestly, I have a soft spot for Predators. I have a soft spot for that one. I don't think it's great, but it's a fun watch. It's a good time. That was my Predator movie that I grew up with. You know what I mean? That was the one that like when I was first getting into that franchise, it's like, oh, that one's in theaters. Robert Rodriguez doing this new, Predator flick. Okay, let's check this out. And like, it kind of blew my mind first time I saw it. But as I've gotten older, I'm just like, okay, there's some problems with this, but I still have fun with it. You know what I mean? So Casey Mack is asking, am I mad that Predator Badlands will be PG-13? I just did a whole video about that, buddy. I have a very complex opinion on that. Here's what I'm going to say. Just, I guess, spoiler alert for the video. No, and I have a good reason for that. In most scenarios, in like 9 out of 10 scenarios, when an R-rated franchise goes to PG-13, I'm going to be disappointed. 99% of situations. But this has a very weird reason as to why it could still work. Because I think it's more than a Predator film. It's kind of diving into some Alien versus Predator territory, and that's why I think I could vibe with it. So I'm not mad I'm intrigued is what I'm very intrigued to see where this all ends up going, man. So we'll see. We'll see. You're also saying you're a fan of Trick or Treat. Love that movie. Do you recommend any Halloween anthology type movies? I've really been meaning to see Tales of Halloween for a long time now. Well, a little movie I haven't talked about too much on the page recently. VHS Halloween. I'm so serious. Like, Trick or Treat is up there for anthologies. VHS Halloween might have just surpassed it for me personally. I love Trick or Treat to death, though. So that's one I definitely got to put on. You know what? You want to hear like a really sad thing? You want to hear something really sad, KC Mac? I got the 4K of Trick or Treat last year. Because I do, that's a movie I watch annually. I put on the 4K and I fell asleep and I didn't have time the rest of spooky season to put it back on and finish it, which bums me out because my favorite part of that whole movie is the ending with Sam and the old man. That whole sequence, 10 out of 10, no notes. It's amazing. It's like one of my favorite sequences from 2000s horror. I think I love it to death. I really gotta revisit that one this year. So I'm gonna. Madison is not really feeling spooky movies lately, but I think I'm gonna make her watch that one with me sometime. Walter Crowley is saying, I thought the trailer was releasing on the night of the MTV Awards, September 7th, over a month ago. The Scream for Reese's ad was just not good enough. I agree, Walter. Come on. That's not going to satisfy fans. No way. No, that was a little bit of a lousy rumor. I guess same with the trailer releasing in September. That also did not happen. But like I've been saying for months and months now, it's probably going to drop alongside The Running Man, which is coming out on November 14th. So I really strongly doubt that it comes out before then. Maybe a little bit before then, and then also you can see it with the with that movie when it comes out. But yeah, we're probably going to see the trailer in November, which I know, we got to wait another month. People don't want to hear that, but that's just how these movies are usually marketed. I have gotten so many people so angry about that with me, though. I had to block a gentleman because they were saying such nasty things about me because I said it definitely wasn't coming out in September. I'm like, it's kind of shocking a little bit to me because I'm not just saying this to upset people. It's like I'm basing it off of the previous two films' marketing campaigns. You know what I mean? They also marketed, they had their first teaser or small trailer, whatever, come out 3 months before, just like how this movie's likely going to do. If it comes out earlier than that, I'll tell you what, I'll be fucking dancing and lighting things on fire. That's how excited I'm going to be. But realistically, it just makes sense to come out with The Running Man. This is the next Paramount release that is like Scream adjacent. There's an argument that you could say Regretting You, which did that movie already come out? I actually don't even, it might have. This movie has McKenna Grace in it. So like, okay, maybe they put it in front of that. That comes out on October 24th. So like, maybe we put the Scream trailer in front of this one. The other argument with this movie is that it has a ton of horror people in it. So McKenna Grace, who's going to be in Scream 7, is in the film. Mason Timms from The Black Phone, Allison Williams from Get Out and Megan, Dave Franco from Together and The Rental. Willa Fitzgerald from Strange Darling. All these people are horror people in this like very, it's a romance, like a rom-com kind of movie. So there's an argument to say maybe we get it in late October for sure, but I don't see it coming any earlier than that. So if I'm being honest, we got to look at Paramount releases that they're going to want to throw this in front of. I never saw it coming out in September. Maybe late this month. That could be the earliest I think it comes, but keep your eyes peeled is what I'll say. It's coming soon, just not this week, not next week, maybe not even the week after that, but soon. Soon for sure. Talking Star Wars, so much love to you, my friend. Thank you for the $2. You're saying theory, Asa German is Stu's son. They look similar. I see it. No, honestly, I see it. Since he got cast in the film, I was saying, dude, this guy could play a mean Ghostface. He's got the look for it, where he can kind of hide in plain sight, but then go evil at the end. I think someone earlier was saying that he kind of looks like Jack Champion a little bit too. I could see him pulling it off for sure. I definitely think it's going to be one of our younger cast members. If I'm being honest, I just, there's something about Ghostface being one of the younger people that's just a little more interesting, I guess, to me. A little more tragic, I think, too. Ghostface, it can be anybody And it should be anybody too. I know so many people. I got a comment on my last Scream video talking about how McKenna, like I'm dead set on McKenna Grace being Ghostface, and someone was like, "Dude, she's 5 foot tall," and I'm like, "So what? She could still be Ghostface." You know what I mean? Ghostface to me, it should and can be anybody. And the reason I say that is because I think it makes it way more interesting that way. Listen, I might sound like a logic freak when it comes to characters, you know, and being alive in this universe and all that. But really, my big argument about Stu coming back to life is the fact that I just don't like the idea of Ghostface being a repeat. You know what I mean? That to me, just as an audience member, screams we're out of ideas. I'm down. Like, I don't even care about the logical aspects of it. If a little 5 foot tall ghost face is running around the whole time and everyone's scratching their heads wondering who it could be, that doesn't bug me at all. Maybe it bugs you. It doesn't bug me. I don't give a shit. As long as the mystery element is there, as long as we're scratching our heads trying to figure out who it is, it could be anybody in the scenario. I'm here for it. I guess that's my weird hot take about Scream. But Asa German also being some sort of killer in this universe, I could totally see it happening. That would be a lot of fun. Talking Star Wars, thank you for the 2. Greatly appreciate you a ton. I'm definitely banking on one of the younger characters being Ghostface. That's for sure. Asa and McKenna Grace maybe are killers, maybe our little duo here. We'll just have to see. I'm excited to get into it, my friend. Thank you for the 2. Appreciate it. Aiden is saying maybe the trailer is connected to the Ghostface release in Fortnite. They're going to play the Scream 7 trailer like in Fortnite. Like remember when they did that Travis Scott concert in Fortnite? You think they're just going to have like a big like scary Ghostface screen or something in the Fortnite map, and that's where you'll be able to access the Scream 7 trailer first? Am I going to have to download Fortnite again to fucking cover this shit? Oh man. That's fun. You know what, Aiden, you got a point, man. They could do something like that. Or Aid X3in. Steph 2007 is saying, Jake, I watched VHS Halloween yesterday and it was such a fun movie. 100 out of 10. 100 out of 10. That's a killer review. Is there a possibility for another VHS movie? Abso-freaking-lutely yes. So Shudder, pretty much since 2021, Shudder has put out a new VHS flick every single year, with 94, 99, 85, Beyond, and this year Halloween. So will they make more? I think absolutely yes. My conspiracy theory is that they're going to get the franchise to 10. And then I don't know what's going to happen from there. But what I will say is that VHS is one of those series that could go on forever. I mean, there is always going to be a new voice in horror that you can throw at this project, or people from the past who may want to come back and do another one based on a brand new theme. Why the hell not? These movies are cheap to make, and they have some crazy talent behind the camera. They're easy to make. They're essentially easy to make. So why not just make one? Why not pump one out every single year? You know what I mean? So for me, if we don't get another VHS, it's you're leaving money on the table, is how I see it. Producer Josh Goldblum and Brad Miska, who's essentially the franchise creator, they have struck gold with a franchise that truly could go on for 100 entries and not get old. I mean, that's a producer's dream. That's a horror movie producer's literal dream right there. And I really want to see at least a couple more movies. I mean, there's so many more topics that they've yet to explore. My buddy Dylan just did an excellent video covering a ton of different topics and themes that they could apply to new VHS movies. A few of them I think need to happen. Like, bottom line, I have to see these happen. VHS Christmas was one that he was talking about. That would be awesome. Like, just winter set holiday horror. Come on now, that has to happen. VHS Deep, go into the ocean. You know, there's so much found footage you could do on the ocean. A bunch of kids are partying on a fucking yacht and something crazy happens. Deep sea divers are filming going down and maybe having some sort of encounter with like a Cthulhu-like creature. There's a million different things you could do with VHS that this franchise could go on and on and on and on forever and just not, we won't get sick of it. So I want more VHS movies, even if we get shit, even if there's like an entire entry that's a VHS viral level disaster. I want a new one of these every single year. There's so much fun to talk about. They're like one of the most fun series to cover on this page because of how mysterious and just like how every entry is something new. It's a really fun series to talk about and watch. So yes, 100% Steph. I couldn't agree more. Bring it on, VHS 9. Will we get that announcement sometime soon? Probably yes. We usually get an announcement out of Comic-Con, and I don't know when New York Comic-Con is this year actually. So let's hang on. Let's look this up because I'm curious. October 9th through the 12th. Holy shit, guys. I didn't realize that. Is that tomorrow? So we might actually get an announcement about this in the next couple of days, like straight up. That's crazy. So I don't know if they're actually going to this or what the hell the case is, but usually this is where we get the announcement. Usually it comes out of New York Comic Con every single year. I'm going to look at the guests sometime after stream, but who knows? We might get that announcement within the next couple of days here, ladies and gents. That's exciting. Oh, baby. Darth is saying the height doesn't bother me, but whomever dons the mask should be tall or at least taller. You see, I totally agree with that, Darth. I know some people are like, that doesn't make any sense. Ghostface was like 6 feet a minute ago, and now it's this 5-foot person. I don't care. I guess I don't care. I don't know. That makes it more mysterious, if anything. It's just like, okay, well, the height, how we're seeing Ghostface being portrayed in the film doesn't match who the actual killer or character is. I think that makes it more mysterious. Because, like, for me, would you want to figure out who Ghostface is from looking at how tall the character is? I think that kind of sucks, honestly. I would rather not be able to figure that out. Like, let's say there's only one super short person in the whole movie, and then there's this little ghost face running around. Who do you think it is? You know what I mean? Like, that's a really boring way to figure out who the killer is. I would rather there be a little more mystery. That's maybe a hot take from me because, dude, I have gotten comment after comment of people who do not like Amber because they don't feel that Ghostface was short enough throughout the whole movie. It doesn't bug me. It really, like, I know it's a logical thing and it might bug you for that reason. I don't care. I would rather it be more mysterious. I don't want to have Ghostface figured out just from, one shot of, comparing heights between Ghostface and a different person. ADHD drummer, what is up, my friend? How are you? Yo, I hope your day is going good. I was watching Scream 3 and the 22. You're watching Scream 3 and Scream 5. Okay. Was the last one I saw with mom, and I uncovered some serious formula. I don't know what you're saying there, my friend. The whodunit formula. Now you're peacing out. Okay. Okay. Well, welcome in and goodbye. Thank you for hanging out with us, ADHD drummer. Thank you. Sloppenheimer is saying, my dilemma with Sydney and Scream is she'll either never have a happy ending or she'll never die. The only way she'd die is Ghostface was lucky. No matter the Ghostface, it'll be just luck. I think that's why they do one more big Sydney story and close it out, and then we can move on to some other stories. The reality of the situation is that Scream is a franchise that is going to go on for forever and always. I mean, it's way too big of a name and has way too many followers to just stop making movies. Like, I know people feel like the Halloween franchise is dead right now. I promise you, in the next like 5 to 6 years, I'm gonna be confidence, baby. 5 to 6 years, I bet we get another one. I'd put some good money on that, honestly. It's the same thing with Scream. Even if Scream 7 is like the end, the closing out of Sidney Prescott's story and legacy, whatever. Let's say we do a two-parter, even 7 and 8. Closing out the story with Sidney Prescott, big sunset on the franchise. They're gonna do another one in a couple of years. I promise. It's just, that's the nature of the game. And eventually I think we do have to just move on from these characters because it's a shame, but you're right. You know what I mean? I would hate for Sidney Prescott to just keep coming back and ruin her arc. You know what I mean? Like that sucks to me. I love Sydney as a character, and I love that she's obviously a big part of what Scream is, but this franchise is gonna go on whether we like it or not. Would you rather them ruin Sydney's arc by having her come back for a redundant story where it doesn't make a whole lot of sense? Or would you rather Scream just become a meta slasher with other characters? You know what I mean? It feels like such a simple thing. So I'm kind of hoping that this next movie just closes and sunsets the Sidney Prescott arc. We put that to bed with something that feels like a fitting ending, a fitting conclusion, and then we move into something else. And I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with that idea because honestly, I'm worried that Sidney's going to come back for this movie and it's going to be a not very good storyline, which would bum me out, dude. Sidney has a very good arc. As it stands right now. I would even go so far as to say she's the best written final girl of all time. I think she has the most interesting, dynamic arc of any final girl character out there because so many slashers kind of don't seem to care about that sometimes. So for me personally, I I really, really, really just don't want this character to just keep coming back and pop up in different sequels all the time. And this is just a thing now. That's not this character. That is not the character of Sidney Prescott. I would rather them just close out that story and move on with some other people with Scream in future movies. Because I think what is the driving engine of Scream? It's Ghostface all day, every day. It's the idea that there's a new person in a mask trying to kill somebody. And I think you can just do that forever and onwards with different kinds of mysteries, different kinds of characters. And I'm into it. I'm down to see whatever the next one will do. In a way, VHS, the VHS franchise and Scream are similar in those ways. Each movie is flavored by whoever the new Ghostface is. Each VHS movie flavored by whoever the new directors are, or what the new theme is. You know what I mean? I feel like those Scream and VHS kind of have that durability, have that, just ability to just keep coming back and doing new things for that reason. It's kind of why something like, it's why something like Friday the 13th you can only do so many times, but before it maybe gets stale for a little while, and then we'll come back and essentially do it all over again with new characters. But Scream, Halloween, these are movies we could pump out every couple of years. Scream, VHS, maybe even Final Destination is in this category too. We could just keep them coming. We could just keep them coming forever and onwards. Because I think there's plenty of reasons to kill, and there's plenty of horrifying entities that could be on VHS tapes. So that's why I love both these franchises so much, is because there's truly endless possibilities. Casey Mack is saying, I did hear Shudder will be at New York Comic Con, so maybe we will get that VHS announcement. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, we're gonna get that announcement. That's how it happened last year. We heard VHS 8 was coming, and then we learned a little later on it was gonna be VHS Halloween. That was gonna be the theme. So we're gonna get the announcement, and I'm unfortunately very sad to tell you all this, but it's gonna be nothing after that for a little while. It's gonna be like 9 months of absolute silence while they work on the film. And then next summer, we'll get a big old nasty announcement of what this movie's gonna be. So no idea what it's going to be now, but 9 months from now we'll know. So VHS is at its peak right now, but it's slowly going to just go. We're all going to crawl back into our caves for a little while and just kind of wait. So we'll get more VHS soon. Talking Star Wars is saying I think 7 and 8 are a two-parter. I mean, weren't they still filming 7 and 8? 7 when 8 got greenlit? Yeah, pretty much. I think you could totally be onto something there, and I would be totally into it. I think it would be fun. But again, I give me a reason to do a two-parter. Don't just stretch one story across multiple movies. The other thing too is 7 got rewritten, so that kind of makes me wonder what do they have enough time to write a whole screenplay for a part 8? What's up with that? What happened there? Do they have time to write like an epic slasher that spans across multiple movies? I don't know. We'll just have to see, though. Definitely keeping an open mind about the whole thing, though. I would love a cliffhanger. That would be something different, something new to try out, So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Sorry, I'm Cursed is saying can't wait for Scream X, baby. Ghost Space, where no one can hear you scream. I love it. Jay is saying, do you think Stu is alive or not, given rumors? Honestly, I don't. There's so much explaining you'd have to do. It would be a third act of explaining, here's where I was for Scream 2. Here's where I was for Scream 3. Here's where I was for Scream. Like, I don't care. That's not what I want from a Scream movie. I don't want just exposition dump the movie. I would rather just get some really fun action, have a good murder mystery, which you wouldn't have if it was Stu. There'd be no point in having a murder mystery if Stu was alive. So I don't even know what that movie would be if Stu was alive. Like, the reality of that situation, it would be, so first of all, no murder mystery. Like no murder mystery, no new Ghostface. So we're not like, what even is that movie? We're just watching a Ghostface without a murder mystery run around, kill people. And we're just trying to find out where Stu is, essentially. I just don't know. That movie wouldn't be Scream. That would just be a slasher with Matthew Lillard. It's kind of how I view that film. I don't know. I just don't even think that would be Scream. Darth is saying they should have written Sydney's farewell a lot better and made Scream 5 a lot sooner. So by now we would have been with different characters. I think the problem is we just keep losing. a new story. We keep losing new story ideas and keep falling back on Sydney. Scream 4 was a great little like end cap, I think, for the Sydney story, and we could have moved on to something else. But I'm okay with the way they're doing it based on all the behind the scenes problems with like all these movies, dude. Which is such a shame because Scream is such a great franchise already. And it would be even better if the producers weren't such assholes with like pretty much every movie. It's a shame too, because I think what they were originally going to do for this like Scream 4, 5, and 6 as a trilogy sounded like really interesting from Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven, but we never got that. We never got that route, which is a shame. But I'm still excited for 7, whatever it's going to be, closing things out. I'm hoping for, something fresh after this. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Steph 2007 is saying, which would be a more shocking final shot, a Ghostface surviving or Sidney Prescott dying in Scream 7? Oh, I wouldn't want Sidney to die though. Sidney deserves her happy ending. That's why I want the story to, that's why I want her story to close. Cause otherwise she would have to die at a certain point. You know what I mean? So, Ghostface surviving. I'm going to go with I want to see Ghostface live through a movie, and come back for more. That could be brutal. Talking Star Wars is saying maybe we see Gale getting stabbed and we don't know her outcome for a year till 8. Like a Ghostface survives or something like that and leaves Gale potentially dead. I could get into that. I think that could be fun. I think that could be an interesting move. I so badly want to say something like, well, didn't they just do that with Scream 6? But like, who cares? That's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, that's different though. They're approaching it a little differently. Gale gets stabbed and we don't know her fate until the next movie. That's fun. I think that's actually kind of cool. But like, you'd have to keep her alive in that scenario. You couldn't kill Gale after that. So I don't know. I guess I'm on the fence with that. But we'll see. Hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'd love to see a Ghostface get away with murder essentially, and we're trying to figure out who it is. But I feel like in a year's time we'd have it all figured out. That's my thing. That's what just happened with The Strangers. People figured some shit out and they had to reshoot some stuff. So I hope that what they do is I hope that what they do is they leave us in a mystery that we can't solve in between movies. You know what I mean? Like that to me, give us something that we can chew on for a little while and have a ton of different theories and maybe one of them's right or not, whatever. But ultimately it comes down to the fact that it's something we can't figure out just from that first movie. There's another piece of the puzzle that the second one will give us, that there's more to this. It's a more complicated scenario than what we've seen before in the past. Sorry, I'm cursed is saying once Sidney Prescott dies, the term final girl dies. Damn, that's heavy. I mean, you're right. I don't want to see Sidney Prescott die. She's been through too much to kill her. Kevin Williamson has even said I wouldn't kill the character of Sidney Prescott. So like for me, I think that means just close out that story. You know what I mean? Sidney's coming into this one because we didn't have, we don't have the Carpenter sisters. We don't have our new characters essentially. So wrap up that story. Give us a more fitting conclusion to the Sidney Prescott story with 7. That's what I'm looking for with this one, I guess. What is more vital for Terrifier 4? A deeper understanding of Sienna's father, the angel lore, or a more isolated back to basics art? Definitely the lore. Oh, 100%. I want to learn more about, what the deal is with Sienna's father's connection to Art the Clown. I want to learn like who these, otherworldly forces are that are, trying to build up Sienna as this good against evil kind of character. I don't know. I definitely want to learn a little more about that. I think a back to basics art is something we just cannot do in Terrifier 4 with the way it's being set up. Damien is even talking about the movie saying it's going to be this big ambitious swing. We're trying out some different stuff here. I think it's a Terrifier movie that's going to be a little more polarizing than the last couple, because I feel like Terrifier fans liked Terrifiers 2 and 3 for the most part. I think there's, obviously there's people there's haters. There's going to be haters of everything. That's just how life works. But for the most part, I think Terrifier fans really liked 2 and 3. But in terms of, what this next movie is going to be, I feel like this is going to be a little more polarizing across like the Terrifier fan base. We're going to try to do some like bigger epic angels versus demons stuff here. It's going to be beyond a slasher film, which may work for some, maybe not so much for others. And I'm kind of excited to see where I fall on that. On that coin. It's a 50-50 thing. Is this going to get too big for its britches? Is that where this kind of, goofy, over the top, crazy splatter flick needed to go? I'm excited to find out. So it's definitely a unique decision to elevate your concept as much as Damian Leone seems to be doing with this franchise. And it has me excited. I'm definitely excited to see. So we're seemingly going to have this final battle in hell between Sienna and Art the Clown. That's wild. I'm down for it. Let's see what it's all about. High Flying Eye. What is up, my friend? It reminds me of that Ellen Parsons Project song. Eye in the sky. You know what I'm talking about? One thing I want to see is Ghostface say to Sydney, "You can't sit this one out, Sid, like you did last time." Cool little reference to her absence in Scream 6. That could be fun. That's nice. That's meta. That would be a nice little jab, Ghostface to Sydney. I like it. That's fun. Steph 2007 is saying, if Art the Clown could speak for one full sentence, no, absolutely not. It would take so much mystique away from him if he spoke. No. C Furlong is saying, I hope they don't give Sydney cheesy lines like they did in Screams 4 and 5. Like what? Hit me with the... I got nothing. I got nothing over here. What? Like the phone call thing maybe in 5? Like where she's like, what does she say? Like I'm hanging up. I don't even remember what she says. Does she have cheesy lines in Screams 4 and 5? I feel like the lines in Screams like 1, 2, and 3 are way cheesier than 4 and 5. That's just me though. But I also feel like that's intentional. I also feel like that's intentional with Scream. I mean, what's the fucking line? Is it in Scream 1 where she's like, it's Scream 2 where she's like, I'm not glass, Dewey. I'm not gonna break or something like that. I'm like, that's super cheesy, but I love it. That's the vibes. That's the vibe. I think Scream is inherently a little cheesy, but I guess that's just me. She says, I'm bored, and he says, wait. Yeah, I don't think that's too cheesy. That's not like rolling my eyes cheesy. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like, it's not like she's saying like, I'm trying to think. Call not received. Psh, bam, shoots through doors or something. Like, it's not an Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liner. Now, listen, if she starts throwing some commando lines out there, well, okay, that's a step. That might be a step too far. It's still got to be a little based in reality, right? But I had to let them go. You guys ever see Commando is, if you guys want to see cheesy lines, oh man, Commando is like my favorite. It's one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies because it is ridiculous. It is outrageous. That movie starts off with Arnold and he's carrying like a whole fucking tree. I'm not even remotely kidding. He is carrying I'm not talking a little baby like sapling or something like that. He is carrying a tree. It's outrageous. It's insane. I love that movie though. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so fun. Get to the chopper. You're goddamn right. Commando's a gem. I love the Commando love. I'm putting that on. If I have time, I'm putting that on tonight. No, I'm putting on Trick or Treat tonight. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We were talking about Trick or Treat earlier. I need to watch that movie, dude. If I go another October without watching Trick or Treat, I'm gonna lose my mind. That movie's too good. Too damn good, guys. Come on now. Brutal. I will say, guys, we are doing another really fun stream after this one. We are going live over on the gaming channel to play some Dead by Daylight. I haven't played in a while, so I might suck, but definitely stop on by for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely excited to get into that game again. It's been a little while since we did Dead by Daylight stream. And also, I am almost fully monetized on the gaming channel. Almost like 100% there. And I would like to hit that this month because I have not had the time to just really fully commit to that. And I'm going to go live like pretty much every single day until it's happening. I really only need to do a couple more streams and we're like 100% fully cleared. We got like, if you're like, wait, Jake, I thought you said you were monetized. We got the first level of monetization where you can like, kind of get like fan support, memberships, all that fun stuff. But we're hoping to get like essentially the 4,000 hours, the 1,000 subscribers. We have the subs. We just need I think we only need 200 or 300 more watch hours and we're like there. So it's really not that bad. Just a few more streams and we're golden. So go check out GullGotha tonight and literally any other night. I'm literally streaming every night until we're monetized. I think I'm going to try to make that happen. It's going to be outrageous, but I'm excited. I'm excited to finally make that happen over on the page. We're also playing Water Park Simulator right now, which is so unbelievably fun. Not a horror game, but there is a lot of violence. Lots and lots of violence, let me tell you. Casey Mack is saying Trick or Treat actually will be released in theaters. Oh, it's going to be, shit, they're putting that in theaters. That's really exciting. Because wasn't that like a VOD release when it came out for some reason? Like they just decided not to put that in theaters for whatever reason. It's a shame because, like, dude, I mean, Little Sam is basically the face of Spirit Halloween. Like Little Sam is Spirit, like he is the mascot of Spirit Halloween. Every year they have Sam stuff, and they've just never made another movie, which is honestly kind of crazy to me. I don't understand that. I think Trick or Treat it's a banger. Would love to see another segment with the connective tissue just being Sam. You know what I mean? Just have him come back for another round of, you know, fucking with people who don't give him candy. I would be so down for that. That would be a ton of fun. Who's a new character that we could have Sam go after who doesn't give him candy too? You know what I mean? That's the only answer you would need, I feel, to make another one of those, and a ton of different like new stories to interweave between each other. Which is definitely a tough thing. You know, that's a rare anthology where they found a way to make every single segment connect, and I think that's why it is such a. You've never seen Trick or Treat? Oh my god, dude, it's like, honest, outside of John Carpenter's Halloween, it's like the best Halloween horror movie, I think. Like truly, it's a Halloween horror anthology movie where, like I said, every segment finds a way to interweave into each other, and it's like really thought out and really brilliant, in my opinion, for that reason. So I couldn't recommend it enough. It is a 10 out of 10. Just a ton of fun, a great movie to put on during this time of year. I love it to death. Oh my god, really good stuff there for sure. Lots of love with that franchise. You need to see it. Yeah, Casey, I totally agree. Trick or Treat needs a sequel. Yeah. So if they make another film, I would kind of, that's the tough thing. I think I would want them to do the same thing that they did in the first Trick or Treat. So how do you make that? How do you make that happen? I don't know. You know, I don't know. It's a tough ask. Definitely a tough ask. A lot that needs to be done in order to do that right, but I'm here for it. I'm here to see if that happens or not. We'll just have to see. We'll have to make that happen. But I'm totally down. I am 100% down for Trick or Treat 2 to finally take place. Michael Dougherty, the guy that created that franchise too, has said multiple times that they've worked on a sequel and they want to put it out. Nothing. Just nothing about Trick or Treat 2. I'm just gonna look up if we've had an update recently because, man. Yeah, I mean, like, he said, yeah, you know, we're working on something. That was like over a year ago now. Nothing now. Nothing anymore, which is a shame. But hopefully one day we get some more Sam. He's a cute little fella. I love him to death. If you've never, here, I'll pull up if you don't know what Sam looks like. This is little Sam. Do a little second screen action over here. That's our fella right there. Cute little dude, little burlap sack over his head. I definitely want some more from him if we can make that happen. I just want a new TCM. Sorry, I'm cursed. That is apparently moving forward over at A24. They're doing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre series followed up by some sort of new movie that will release straight to Netflix again. But hey, I'll take more Texas Chainsaw, man. I will definitely take more of that. Another great series for sure. Definitely love some of that. Even if it doesn't get a sequel, it's definitely a movie I will watch every Halloween season. Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, even if there isn't another Trick or Treat, I'll be watching. I'll be checking it out once again for sure. You forgot about all that. Yeah, the A24 just got the rights to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, so there's more coming there. I mean, we're getting more Leatherface at some point soon. It seems like it's going to be on the small screen first though, which they're A24, man. They just want to make series out of all these different franchises that they own. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Why is the first thing a series? Like that to me is something you do when there's like not any interest in a franchise. So it's like, let's go to the small screen. I really don't get it. I think come out swinging with a movie. Have some confidence. I don't understand the idea of making all these like Peacock series. They're doing Crystal Lake. They're doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the small screen. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Do we know Sam's backstory? Maybe a prequel of Trick or Treat could work. We kind of do through comics, and it's loosely explained in the movies, but obviously a little more detailed in those comics. But I think what's interesting about him is he's kind of just like a pagan spirit. Like that's essentially all it is. He's this spirit that requires some sort of treat on Halloween night, and that's kind of it's a simplicity, kind of a bit of a simplicity thing. It's a less is more. It's just like you give him candy or he's gonna kill you. It's a balance thing, which is cool. So I'm definitely interested to see. I would be down for a prequel. You can kind of do, honestly, you can do a trick or treat movie at any time period. I feel like you could do one in the modern day, a sequel. You could do a prequel as well. Maybe make it like an 80s theme thing, because I think that movie does feel very like creep show inspired. So that could be fun. I heard that the Netflix series Monster, the Ed Gein story, is great. I said earlier, I have no interest in that. I'm so sorry. Luke Kai is saying, Jake the Legend. What's up, Luke? How's it going? I'm back, sir. How are you? I'm fantastic. How are you, Mr. Luke? Luke Skywalker, what's up? What's up? What's your thoughts and opinions on Thanksgiving 2? I wonder what the plot will be. Well, they're taking forever to get into that. Likely because Eli Roth just kind of started up his own little production company. He's working on like just producing a bunch of films right now through the horror section. He's just picking up these really like low budget, tiny little indie films and doing some like limited releases in theaters, essentially. So the next one comes out later this month called Dream Eater. The first one was Jimmy and Stiggs, which was came out in August. It was a pretty fun film. It was very DIY. You could tell like they made it on a very low budget, but that's kind of the fun of it, I think, in a lot of ways. And I think this Dream Eater, it's a found footage film, which is interesting. Probably going to be something similar, and I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be fun. It's not premiering anywhere in my area, but I'll definitely see it when it comes out. But if you're wondering why Thanksgiving 2 is taking forever and why we're not getting any updates on it, that's why. So looks like they're going into production for it sometime soon. At least that's what Nell Verlax said about it recently. She's the star of that film, and she was kind of saying like, yeah, we're moving forward with it sometime this fall. So hopefully we see a finished product next November. That would be nice. Definitely would love a continuation to that one. It was a very fun film to cover back in 2023. So I would definitely love another sequel, another continuation, something from that franchise. Feels like they left it open-ended for a reason, so they probably have a story. I'm open-minded to it though. Pat and Jester is saying, saw the first episode of the Ed Gein show this weekend. It was pretty good, but I haven't gotten into the entire series. You still haven't seen Jimmy and Stiggs. I really, really want to, though. Bad. I thought, I was I was slightly underwhelmed by it, but there is some great stuff happening there, though. That's what I'll say. Some really great kills, some splattery, neon effects. It's very unique. It's a very unique film. Just one of those movies that I feel like is almost like a one of a kind in a lot of ways. So I can't think it like it's inspired by other stuff, but is there another movie like it? I don't think so. No, it's very, very unique in its approach. Gina is saying, subscribe to the gaming channel. Yeah, definitely go check out that if you haven't checked it out yet, in forever. Definitely really excited for you guys to check out the stream tonight. It's going to be fun. Catbread, thank you for the 5, my friend. Really appreciate the support. You're saying, first donation, love your channel, and I hope you're healing from Steven's passing. I'm truly sorry for your loss. Keep going. Thank you so much, my friend. It's been a weird time, I feel weird still talking about Scream without him. It's not going to be the same, I feel, in a lot of ways. I'm going to miss him dearly. He was a very good friend. He was always just so positive behind the scenes despite what he was going through. And the really cool thing about Steven is I don't think he really wanted people to know the full extent of what he was going through, which is why I think it came as such a shock to so many in the community. I did kind of know for a little while, and again, I feel bad not saying anything about it, but that was his wishes. He didn't want people. I don't think he wanted people to feel bad for him. I think he just wanted people to come to the streams and have fun, and that was something that I loved and respected about Mr. Craven. So I'm gonna miss him dearly. He was a great guy. He was the best of us, man. So definitely gonna miss him a ton. I'm going to miss him a lot, especially covering this new Scream movie through the next couple of months here. I know he would have loved whatever this movie was going to be, and it bums me out that he's not going to be able to see it. So I miss him. I miss him to death. But Catbread, thank you so much for the 5. I really appreciate the support. And yeah, we're gonna try to honor his legacy as we go through through coverage of this new movie and try to find a way to honor him. So I know he would have loved it. I know we would have had so much fun chatting with him throughout all this time. So. Luke Kai is saying, what do you think about the Rob Zombie Halloween movies and the movie called Haunt? I've never been crazy about the Rob Zombie movies, but I will say the second one has grown on me quite a bit. The sequel, the thing I like about it is that it tries out some new stuff. It feels more like a Rob Zombie movie, like his House of a Thousand Corpses, kind of like those kind of flicks, rather than him trying to do Halloween, which clearly he's just not. I just don't think he's suited for. He would make a better Texas. The fact that he hasn't made a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie is insane to me. Like he's made a Halloween movie, but he's never done Texas Chainsaw. Insanity. Like I don't understand that. He was like a man built for that franchise. So for me, I when Rob Zombie's doing his own thing, I think he's great. I don't know if I'm crazy about his like when he tries to tackle an already established franchise. He's a great unique flavor, but trying to apply that to something else, it rarely works for me. So that's what I'll say. I also really like that movie Haunts, though. I do like that one quite a bit. That's that Beck and Woods flick, the haunted house movie. Really fun flick. Another really good movie to put on during this time of year. Has some really fun little twists and turns and great kills too. So Victor Cruz is saying, Jake, what's up? How's it going, Victor? What's up? Welcome in. Are you excited for Scream 7? Let me know. Down in the comments of the Scream stream. Dev is with us too. What's up, Dev? How's it going? Welcome in. What's up? Kenny is saying, I still theorize Dewey was one of the original killers. Should be a 1-2 punch modern day Ghostface reveal. Oh, man. Dewey, I guess that theory kind of came to life in Scary Movie a couple years later, right? It was Doofy the whole time. He was just playing a character. Who knew? Crazy stuff, man. Pat and Jester is saying, I ironically think his take on Halloween is kind of underrated, but I would love to see him do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I definitely don't hate those movies by any means. I think they're brutal as hell. And that's a big plus. I think they made one of the like scariest Michael Myers in terms of like physical presence. But I don't know if it carries that same mystique as the John Carpenter movie. You know what I mean? I loved how big they made Michael. Like that was a fun new take on the character. Like, okay, if you're going to try something else out with Michael Myers, make him a big, gigantic, dude. Okay, fuck yeah. That's interesting to me. Kills are great. I don't really love the characters in those movies. I had no reason to root for them until the sequel. The sequel gives them some life and some relatability where they're all just kind of a bunch of buttholes in the first film. Like Rob Zombie really went out of his way to make those characters suck and not likable at all. So I don't know. It just didn't really vibe with me. Victor is saying, I remember when you had 10K subs. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, man. Victor, I really appreciate that. We're going for 100K, and I know it's not going to happen this year, maybe not next year either, but we're getting there. We're gonna make it happen. It's kind of it's a goal. It's a goal of my lifetime. I want to get that silver plaque since I was a kid. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I think we're gonna make it happen eventually. So I'm hoping before my 30s. If I can do that before I'm 30, then I'm golden. Then I feel like I've done something pretty crazy. So maybe I'm hoping to get to 40,000 subs before the end of the year. We're a little behind on that goal, but I think at least by the end of January I can hit that. So 40,000 subs is the next milestone for sure. So gonna make it happen. Victor, thank you for the support, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. I greatly appreciate you stopping by, man. Chills Films is saying, I just finished watching Scream in cinemas. It's just so freaking good. You saw it in the theater? That's awesome. Did it get re-released? That's awesome. I didn't know about that. That's awesome, man. Victor Cruz is saying, what's your Halloween costume this year? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do. I did Beetlejuice and Lydia with my fiance last year. We're trying to figure out something this year. I'm trying to talk her into doing Ghostface and maybe like Casey Becker. I think that could be kind of fun. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Victor Cruz is saying you're one of the best horror YouTubers. Thank you so much, my friend. That really means a lot. My personal favorite because of your efforts in keeping the community engaged and updated, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dude, again, just means the world. I'm never gonna stop trying to improve here. So I hope I just hope you dig the content. I hope you guys have fun hanging out around this page. Samantha is saying I actually liked the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, just had way too much cursing in the jail scene. If you know, you know. It's a lot. You know, it's a blast of, you know, intensity and darkness and hard characters to swallow. So, you know, it's just a lot. Pat and Jester is saying you deserve 100,000 subs, my guy. You're a great YouTuber. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate that again. It does mean a lot. I think we'll get there eventually. It's gonna be a slow walk, but we're gonna make it happen. So I'm excited. It was a re-release in the UK, says Chills Films. Okay, nice, very nice. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was fun, dude. That's awesome. It's very exciting stuff there. Victor is saying Danny Trejo didn't deserve that. I know he didn't deserve that at all. I was good to you, Mikey. Oh, breaks my heart every time. Slit in two, man. Truly brutal. So much. Okay, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna call it quits with the stream for today. But we will be live again tomorrow. We're gonna be live. I'm gonna be live with the Night Watch Zone, which is gonna be really fun. Really excited to chat with him about some movies that we really like that maybe the community does not, and I'm really excited to talk a little bit about those. Definitely gonna be fun. Also, we're going live here in like an hour at 6 o'clock to chat a little bit, just kind of play some video games, play some Dead by Daylight. So if you want to hop onto that stream over on GullGotha, it's going to be fun. We're playing some horror video games. Definitely stop on by for that too. Check out the new Predator video. And guys, as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. So much love. Thank you all. Have a nice